Brent Venables teased some injury updates. We'll discuss coming up here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network in the universe. So, Jay, what do we got for injury updates from Brent Venables?
So Brent Venables after practice, and you got John Hoover over there, mentioned that he wrote up that Brent Venables said R. Mason Thomas and Kobie McKinzie did some things at practice. And then he stopped and he smiled. That's just rude. That is rude. That's disrespectful. That is just hateful. And I think he should be tried for a hate crime on that. But I digress. The good thing is that he did mention that those guys did do some things.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a very big plus, because of how horrified we have been over, the last 2 weeks because of R. Mason getting hurt against Tennessee. I don't expect him to play. I expect him to be doubtful on the first initial injury report. And it probably sticks to doubtful the entire... They may have to have him doubtful the entire time.
Yeah.
They may not even ever move him to out, to be honest. But I don't see it. It just doesn't feel like with that injury, it appears it's not as serious, but I don't think that he'll be ready to come back, unfortunately. But Kobie McKinzie is a nice thought for next week.
For Missouri.
Yes, we need somebody to stop the run. Yeah. Kobie McKinzie would be fantastic for that. Yep. Pass game, give me Heineke, give me Samuel Masigo, give me Kip. Go ahead and put Kendall Daniels right there and bring in Reggie Powers out there as your cheetah. Yeah, give me all of that. I need dudes to be able to chase their wide receivers.
Yeah.
Less than worry about the run, because they don't run very well.
Yeah, I would love to have R. Mason Thomas back for this week. But if he's not 100%, don't force the issue. You've got to also make sure that you have him healthy for Missouri and LSU. You're going to need him whenever you can have him. If he's back, if he's 90 to 100%, then give it a go. See what happens. But just the way that play finished and the way that he could kind of barely get off the field, I'm not optimistic about it. But maybe somebody got the Mr. Miyagi hands and they went ahead and took care of business this week and got R. Mason Thomas back on the practice field. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't mind Coach V playing a little gamesmanship with this and trying to keep some things close to the chest. You've got to play the game a little bit and not let them have a whole lot of information. They're going to get the information anyway. So why do you give it to them a day early? But
right.
Regardless of R. Mason Thomas's availability, it's going to be up to Taylor Wine and Marvin Jones Jr. and PJ Adebaware and Danny Okoye stepping up and contributing in a big way. Ty Simpson, he's going to get the ball out fast. You're going to need your speed and athletic rushers to get up the field quick and put pressure on him. It's not going to be easy, but these guys are athletic. They're fierce. They're ferocious. And they've got the talent and ability to go make plays. Now's the opportunity to show that.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're hoping for. And you're hoping that the young guys can go out there and step up. It's that time. We're going up against the funny thing is, and of course we'll break this down even more in detail on Friday or whatnot, but we're not going against the most potent offense. Right? Like, they pass well, they do good. Like, I think Simpson has had multiple games at 300 yards, but he hasn't had a whole bunch. Like, he's like that teetering at 300. Mm-hmm. Like, he's up there as one of the top quarterbacks as far as passing yards this season. I think Alabama is top 14th in the country, so they're averaging just about 290 yards per game in passing. But does that feel kind of low? It feels low to me.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know why. And even though that's up there in the SEC still, I mean, just in the country, it feels like the passing yards have been very hard to come by for everybody this year.
Yeah, it's a bit different, It seems like because parity a little bit, you don't have some of these offenses that would have just this plethora of talent throughout.
Right.
And maybe, when you have a run game that's not super effective like Alabama's, it does make throwing the football a little bit more challenging because teams can drop guys into coverage, which I expect Oklahoma to do. I expect them to try and win with their front 6 and 7 against the run and then drop 4 or 5 guys back into coverage to not allow Alabama to hit them over the top. And so I think some of it is a lot of these teams are good at one thing and not good at both things. It's hard to find a complete football team out there on the offensive side of the ball right now. Some are better than others at both. Some are just kind of like middle of the road at both, but there's not one team I feel like that's like elite throwing the ball and elite running the ball, especially in the SEC right now. It's just kind of, if you're, Tennessee, you're really good throwing the ball and okay, running the ball. Georgia, they're kind of middle of the road, both. Alabama's great throwing the ball, but not very good running the ball. Oklahoma's kind of middle of the road, both. So it's hard to say, man, what we're going to get out of this. But again, it's up to this whole defense to really show out. And I want to throw a question at you because somebody asked this. I want to say it was on the YouTube side of things. If Derek Simmons is available, are you going with Ryan Faujier still at right tackle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me
100%.
Too. Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. Mainly because you've got to see on that GT counter with Ryan Faujier running at somebody's chest. It feels like he got Fabechi Wewu a little bit, amped up about running through somebody too. So yeah, no. You're playing Faujier in this game, regardless. It's the way that he's played in the last couple of games. You take advantage of the fact that you're building a little momentum with your 2 freshman tackles and you go for it. Like I said, Susi has kind of struggled as it's continued, as people have gotten more tape on him, and that's okay. He's going to learn, but he's done a good enough job to not be awful.
Right.
Yeah, you continue with the Faujier piece. Like, I mean, Derek Simmons is great as an emergency. There's going to be situations where, hey, Faujier may get his helmet knocked off. It'd be great to be able to toss Simmons back out there and feel comfortable with it. But you let Simmons take his time, and you may want to leverage him later in the season. But as of now, no. Faujier needs to get as many snaps as possible against as many high-end talent that they're going up against. That way he is battle-tested and ready to go for this push to try to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. To me, it's not even a hesitation. He's played well. Has he played perfect? No, but he's played well. And he's played like he hasn't killed you, if that makes sense. Like a lot of times you get a true freshman out there and they just get blown up, either blown off the ball or they just can't handle what's happening in front of them. He hasn't killed you that way. So continue to roll him out there. And the other part of it is, hey, you're going to get some procedural penalties, some false starts. It's going to happen from time to time. I felt like they played a pretty clean game on the road in Neyland Stadium. And I expect the same thing this week in Bryant-Denny. So excited about that. I think the other one I'm really curious about is Keontez Lewis. I hope that we get him back at some point this season because I think he has been the best of the other outside wide receiver aside from Deion Burks and Isaiah Satania. Like Keontez Lewis was the most consistent one that you had. Giovanni Gibson was kind of up and down. We haven't seen a lot of Jermichael Carter. Getting Keontez Lewis back might really kind of help some things in the offense.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It gives you that veteran presence at receiver, someone that's kind of a safety blanket.
Possession
that you've noticed.
Receiver, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen for like Mateer, he really keyed in on Keontez outside of, well, Keontez has been just very consistent in making catches across the middle and making those grabs and even getting down, right? Yep. So I can totally see Mateer really leaning into him because Giovanni was supposed to be that dude, but it doesn't look like he's all the way back fully to where he was before. So we're still waiting on him to get to that point. I don't want us to try to figure that out in this game. Maybe against Missouri, maybe against LSU, but this one I kind of want the established dudes to go ahead and show out. Now, granted, Giovanni could shut me up and go out there and have a massive monster game, and he's really hard to cover for Dejon Lee, the true freshman 6'5" corner they have. You may want to have him go up and muscle with him a bit, but I like the idea of Keontez. Now, Jermichael Carter could be that guy. He kind of showed us last game. I was like, okay, you can do your routes. You can clear people out and make it tough. So let's stick to that. But we have to see. Luckily, I do feel like we got like 5 or 6 dudes that now I feel comfortable with at wide receiver. We just need to execute.
Yeah, That's going to be the name of the game. College football playoff rankings came out on Tuesday night. Where does Oklahoma stand? What does it mean for the season? We'll discuss. Come up on Locked On Sooner.